You're watching Phil Panner, and I've got in front of me a 2010 Holden Commodore Ute SSV. I'll be changing the engine oil, the gearbox oil because it's a 6-speed manual, and the diff oil. So if you want to know how to change these, you're on the right video, so stick around. Let me show you what you need. Just get yourself a ratchet set, some Allen key bits or Allen key, ideally a light. You'll need a fluid syringe. This is necessary for the diff oil and the gearbox oil. You'll need a sump plug removal set, the 3/8, but if you don't have one of these, don't panic. You can actually use the 3/8 bit on your extender or ratchet in your kit. However, it's going to have a small little button on it which might interfere with taking out the sump plug. You'll need high temperature thread sealant for the transmission or gearbox plugs. You're going to need a oil filter for your engine oil. I'm using Ryco. You can use any brand you like. My go-to is Penrite 5W40 is recommended for this vehicle. Engine oil capacity is 8.3 litres. Just one thing to quickly note, not all of these L98 motors have a 8.3 litre capacity. It always depends on your sump. Some actually have a 7.6 to an 8.3 litre capacity, and that's for a stock engine, not with an upgraded sump. I'm not exactly sure why that's the case. If you do end up overfilling, it's pretty easy. All you need to do is just drain a little bit of oil at a time from the sump plug. You may need to get another crush washer, but it's not too hard to fix. Don't forget, on your engine oil change, you're gonna need new crush washers. For gearbox oil, I'm using Penrite once again, 70W75. Penrite recommends this oil. Gearbox capacity is 3.5 litres. Penrite diff oil, I'm using this Pro Gear 75 weight 85. Differential capacity is 1.3 litres. You don't need a hoist or scissor lift. You can use jack stands. 4 jack stands and a jack will be ideal. Otherwise, you can work with 2 jack stands and 1 jack, but there's a bit more stuffing around and it does get a little bit sketchy. Always recommend gloves and a pair of glasses so shit doesn't fall in your eye. You're gonna need to put the oil somewhere, so these come in handy. First thing you need to do is warm up your car, take it for a nice drive, and then bring it back and jack it up. With the diff, you'll need to get a ratchet, an extender, and your 8mm Allen key bit. If you're facing the rear of the car, on the right side of the diff, you will find your drain plug and your fill plug. The top bit is your fill plug, and down here is your drain plug. Now it is a bit tight for me because I have a aftermarket exhaust system, but if you've got a stock exhaust system, it should be okay. I'm just gonna get another extender. You may need a breaker bar. In my case, I have one in my ratchet set kit. On the drain plug and the fill plug, there seems to be a small O-ring. This one, it looks okay, doesn't need to be replaced yet. I wasn't aware that there was one because when I got all my parts, they didn't tell me on the system that there was one, but if this was damaged, I believe I would just be replacing it with an O-ring, but you would need to do some research if yours is damaged. Now onto the drain bolt, which is a bit harder to get to. And again, we're gonna use the breaker bar. Now the second one is loose, the drain bolt. And once we unscrew it, oil is going to go all over the exhaust. So what I'll do, I'll get my pan ready. I'll unscrew it from afar so I don't have to touch the oil, and I can save this bolt from falling, hopefully. There we go. So this is all going to drain out now into the oil pan. I'm gonna let that drain for 10-20 minutes. With the oil drained, I'm going to put the drain plug back in, hand tight. I'm gonna tighten up the drain plug now to 35 Newton meters. If you don't have a torque wrench, that's completely fine. From hand tight, you'll just be turning it less than a quarter. It will get very tight very quickly, so do not over tighten it. I'm filling up this oil syringe with just over 1.3 litres of the differential oil. It's always good to put more so that it leaks out and you know that it's full. Once I've done that, I can put the bolt back in, tighten it to spec, the same as the drain plug, and we're pretty much good to go at the rear. Now moving on to the transmission. Grab your 3/8 and your breaker bar. If you're facing the vehicle from behind, on the left side is the fill and the right side is the drain. Now for the drain, I'm not letting it drain so quickly because It's such a runny fluid and it's just gonna go everywhere. So I'm just holding it until I can release it slowly. Oh.
You want to let as much oil drain out as possible, especially if you're changing brand of oil. So walk away and give it about 10 to 20 minutes.
This plug already has sealant on it. I tried my best to clean it, but it's very, very hard. I'm going to apply the new thread sealant over the top. Not ideal, but if you don't have any means to clean it, then there's not much you can do. If you have a torque wrench, 27 Newton meters. So if you don't have a torque wrench,
get it hand tight first.
It's just 3/4 of a turn, so almost halfway.
And now we're ready to fill up 3.5 liters of gearbox fluid. And considering my syringe is only 1.5 liters, I'll probably have to do this 3 times.
Before the last fill of transmission fluid, I like to just get in the car, press in the clutch, cycle through the gears, and this just allows the fluid to move around and make some space so that I can ensure that I am filling up to the maximum capacity. I'm not really sure if it does anything, but I've been doing that, and we can do the last fill. Once all the excess oil has leaked out, apply the sealant on the bolt and tighten it exactly the same as the drain bolt.
Now moving on to the engine.
For engine oil, make sure you remove the filler cap so that the oil can flow out better. For this oil pan sump plug, I have my 15mm socket and breaker bar. The oil's probably gonna rush out because there's so much in there. You might have to sit here a while because you have to monitor. The stream is going to shorten and you need to swap the containers once your first one fills up. This oil is quite black as well, so very happy that I'm doing it now, earlier than expected. I would always recommend when you buy a car for the first time, just to do the fluids if you can do it yourself, because it's inexpensive and a lot of people tend to lie about their service history. So more the reason to try and do it. I'm just gonna let this drain. I'm gonna come back in about 20 minutes. I'll just let that drain for a bit and come back later. It's personal preference. You can either fill up the oil filter with fresh oil or not. A lot of people choose not to. On the rubber seal, you can rub a bit of oil for a better connection. When installing the oil filter, as tight as you can go with your hand is good enough. Now we're done. On the oil pan, there is a crush washer. So this one's a rubber one, which I don't need anymore. I'm going to be using a copper crush washer. The flat side should face the bolt head. Just get it hand tight. We're going to be tightening this one to 25 Newton meters. It will tighten a little bit more, or feel like it does, because of the crush washer. Now, if you don't have a torque wrench, that was 3/4 of a turn. And that's it. Now we can put oil in it. Drop the car and top up the engine oil. And then it's an optional thing. I'll show you how to reset the service message on your cluster. So what you want to do is you want to hold down on the steering wheel the trip button and then turn the key to accessory. It's going to provide a message, service reset. Yep, that's all done. But once that's all done, your car is ready to drive. What I would normally do is I would take it for a drive the next day and then bring it back and inspect for any leaks, and you're pretty much good to go from there. I hope you enjoyed this video and hopefully it did help you. I do have some other stuff similar on my channel already, and there's also plenty of other car content, so make sure you check it out.